Burgundians, an early Germanic tribe. Imagine yourself in ancient Europe, where diverse tribes roamed vast landscapes and clashed with the powerful Roman Empire. Among these tribes were the Burgundians, whose journey and influence left a significant mark on history. The Burgundians first emerged in the Middle Rhine region, near the mighty Roman Empire. As time passed, they found themselves moving deeper into the empire, eventually settling in eastern Gaul. Their story dates back to as early as the 3rd century, where they are mentioned alongside the Alemanni in historical records from 291 AD, recounting events between 248 and 291 AD. For centuries, they were neighbors to the Alemanni, navigating the complex dynamics of ancient European territories. By 411 AD, a group of Burgundians had carved out a place for themselves on the Rhine, establishing control over key cities like Worms, Speyer, and Strasbourg. However, their fortunes took a dramatic turn in 436 AD, when the Roman general Aetius, with the formidable aid of Hunnish forces, defeated them. This defeat led to their resettlement in eastern Gaul in 443 AD, where they established the kingdom of the Burgundians. This kingdom later became part of the vast Frankish Empire. The name, Burgundy, that we recognize today in France hails from this ancient kingdom. Interestingly, another group of Burgundians joined forces with Attila the Hun's army by 451 AD, showcasing their diverse alliances and the turbulent nature of their era. Before these documented events, the Burgundians likely migrated from the Baltic island of Bornholm to the Vistula Basin in what is now Poland, illustrating their long journey across Europe. Now, let's talk about their name. The term Burgundians is commonly used to describe the Burgundy who settled in eastern Gaul and the Western Alps during the 5th century AD. Their original kingdom's territory is now part of northeastern and southeastern France, western Switzerland, and northwestern Italy. Over the centuries, the boundaries and political connections of Burgundy have shifted frequently. Today, Burgundy is a region in modern France, named after the Duchy of Burgundy. In medieval contexts, Burgundians could refer to the powerful political entities controlled by the Dukes of Burgundy, extending even into modern Belgium and southern Netherlands. Now, their early history is a bit of a mystery and debated among scholars. Some modern historians suggest that those identified as Burgundians in the early 6th century weren't a single ethnic group. Instead, they were a mix of non-Roman followers of leaders like Gundobad and Sigismund. It's believed that some Burgundian leaders might have had distant ancestors from around the Baltic region. Traditionally, it's thought that the Burgundians originated from Scandinavia, specifically from the Baltic island of Bornholm, known in Old Norse as Borgundrum. By around 250 AD, the population on Bornholm had largely vanished, with most cemeteries no longer in use. In Thorstein's saga Viking Sonar, a man named Vasadi is said to have settled on Bornholm. Additionally, Alfred the Great's translation of Orosius mentions Burgunde land, indicating a territory near the land of the Swedes. Early Roman sources like Tacitus and Pliny the Elder didn't have much information about the Germanic peoples east of the Elbe River. However, Pliny did mention a group with a name similar to the Burgundians among the Vandalic or Eastern Germanic tribes. Ptolemy listed them between the Oder and Vistula rivers, north of the Lusia. Some proposals suggest that significant Germanic tribes, including the Goths, Gepidae, and Vandals, originally came from the Baltic region and moved south, causing turmoil along the Roman frontier. These migrations led to events like the Marcomannic Wars and the first invasion of Italy during the Roman Empire period. Jordanes, a 6th century historian, noted that in the 3rd century, the Burgundians living in the Vistula Basin were nearly wiped out by Fastida, the king of the Gepids. By the late 3rd century, the Burgundians appeared on the east bank of the Rhine, confronting Roman Gaul. The Emperor Probus defeated them around 278 AD, along with the Silingi and Vandals. Later, Claudius Mamertinus mentioned the Burgundians alongside the Alemanni, a Suebic people who had moved into the Agridecumates region, now known as Swabia. Ammianus Marcellinus had a different take, claiming the Burgundians were descended from the Romans. There's no solid evidence of a specific migration from Poland by the Burgundians, which has led to doubts about the connection between the Eastern and Western Burgundians. In 369–370 AD, Emperor Valentinian I enlisted the Burgundians' help in his war against the Alemanni. About 40 years later, the Burgundians reappear. Following the withdrawal of Roman troops to fight the Visigoth king Alaric I, a large group of peoples from Central Europe crossed the Rhine, entering the empire near the lands of the Burgundians. These groups included the Alans, Vandals, and Danubian Suevi. While many moved through Gaul and settled in Roman Hispania, some Burgundians migrated west and settled as foederati in the Roman province of Germania Prima along the Middle Rhine. Others remained outside the empire, joining Attila the Hun's army by 451 AD. And in 411 AD, the Burgundian king Gundahar made a bold move by setting up a puppet emperor named Jovinus, in collaboration with Gor, the king of the Alans. Using the authority of this Gallic emperor, Gundahar established his people on the left bank of the Rhine, between the rivers Lauter and Nahe, capturing the cities of Worms, Speyer, and Strasbourg. Emperor Honorius later granted them this land officially, with Worms, then called Borbut Amagus, as their capital. However, despite their new status as foederati, means allies of Rome, the Burgundians' raids into Roman territories became intolerable. In 436 AD, the Roman general Aetius, with the help of Hun mercenaries, crushed the Burgundian kingdom in the Rhineland. King Gundahar and much of his tribe were killed in the battle. This catastrophic event later inspired heroic legends, which were immortalized in the epic Nibelungenlied. In this story, King Gunther, Gundahar, and Queen Brunhild hold their court at Worms, and the hero Siegfried comes to woo Kriemhild. The saga also features Etzel, based on Attila the Hun. After their defeat, the surviving Burgundians were granted foederati status once more and resettled by Aetius in Saudia, modern Savoy, in 443 AD. Part of the province of Maximus Equinorum. They likely lived near Lugdunum, known today as Lyon. A new king, Gundiac or Gunderic, believed to be Gundahar's son, took the throne and ruled the areas of Saône, Dauphiny, Savoie, and parts of Provence, with Vienne as the capital of the Kingdom of Burgundy. 8 kings from the house of Gundahar reigned until the kingdom was overtaken by the Franks in 534 AD. During Rome's final decades, the Burgundians allied with the empire. They fought alongside the Roman general Aetius, Visigoths, and other allies against Attila the Hun at the Battle of Chalon in 451 AD. The alliance between the Burgundians and Visigoths was strong, as Gundiac and his brother Chilperic joined Theodoric in Spain to combat the Sueves in 455 AD. In 455 AD, an ambiguous reference implicates a treacherous Burgundian leader in the murder of Emperor Petronius Maximus during the chaos before Rome's sack by the Vandals. Ricimer, a powerful patrician, is also blamed, marking the first connection between the Burgundians and Ricimer, who was likely Gundiac's brother-in-law. By 456 AD, feeling confident in their growing power, the Burgundians negotiated a territorial expansion with local Roman senators. In 457 AD, Ricimer overthrew Emperor Avitus, elevating Majorian to the throne. However, Majorian proved unhelpful to Ricimer and the Burgundians, stripping them of their acquired lands. Majorian's independence led to his murder by Ricimer in 461 AD. In 472 AD, Ricimer, now the son-in-law of Western Emperor Anthemius, plotted with Gundobad to kill Anthemius. Gundobad personally beheaded the emperor. Ricimer appointed Olybrius as the new emperor, but both Ricimer and Olybrius died of natural causes within a few months. Gundobad then succeeded his uncle as patrician and kingmaker, raising Glycerius to the throne. By 474 AD, Burgundian influence over the empire waned. Glycerius was deposed in favor of Julius Nepos, and Gundobad returned to Burgundy, likely after the death of his father Gundioch. Around this time, the Burgundian kingdom was divided among Gundobad and his brothers, Godegisel, Chilperic II, and Gundamar I. According to Gregory of Tours, Gundobad's return marked the beginning of a bloody consolidation of power. Gregory claims that Gundobad murdered his brother Chilperic, drowned Chilperic's wife, and exiled their daughters. One of these daughters, Clotilda, later married Clovis, the king of the Franks, and was reputedly responsible for his conversion to Christianity. However, some historian, pointing out inconsistencies in the timeline, around the year 500, Gundobad found himself at war with Clovis. During this conflict, Gundobad was betrayed by another brother, Godegisel, who allied with the Franks. Together, Godegisel and Clovis' forces defeated Gundobad's army, forcing him to take refuge in Avignon. Despite this setback, Gundobad was able to regroup his forces and retaliate. He sacked Vienne, where Godegisel and many of his followers were killed. This victory left Gundobad as the sole king of Burgundy, suggesting that his brother Gundamar had already died, though there are no specific records of his demise. Despite their previous conflicts, Gundobad and Clovis either reconciled or Gundobad was forced into vassalage due to Clovis' earlier victory. This alliance is evident when Gundobad assisted the Franks in their victory over Alaric II, the Visigoth king, in 507. During this period of upheaval, Gundobad began drafting the Lex Gundobada, a legal code drawing from the Lex Visigothorum. The first half of this code was issued between 483 and 501. After consolidating his power, Gundobad issued the second half of the law, which was more distinctly Burgundian, between 501 and his death in 516. The Burgundians were extending their influence over eastern Gaul, which included parts of modern-day Switzerland, eastern France, and northern Italy. In 483, Clovis married the Burgundian princess Clotilda, who played a crucial role in his conversion to Catholicism. Initially, the Burgundians allied with Clovis' Franks against the Visigoths in the early 6th century. However, this alliance did not last. The Burgundians were eventually defeated by the Franks at the Battle of Autun in 532, after an earlier attempt at the Battle of Viserans. Following their defeat, the Burgundian kingdom was absorbed into the Merovingian kingdoms, and the Burgundians themselves were largely integrated into the Frankish realm.